Today on Public Eye News, Governor Whitmer leads an investment mission to Switzerland. But first, Attorney General Dana Nessel charges the former CEO of the Oxford Recovery Center.
Coming up, Emma Maratz has your weather forecast where we'll take a look at conditions for the rest of the week and heading into the weekend. And later, take a look at today's exciting sports updates. I'm Maggie Franson.
And I'm Bianca Kroll, and this is Public Eye News. Former CEO of Oxford Recovery Center will be arraigned for 9 counts of healthcare fraud. Tamala Peterson, owner of both Oxford and Troy locations, was treating a wide range of patients with issues in dealing with addiction to mental health. The wide population of the patients were children diagnosed with autism in their Applied Behavioral Analysis program. It is alleged that Peterson had knowledge of the practices and was the direct beneficiary of fraudulent healthcare claims. This also included billing services. Peterson was granted a $10,000 personal recognizance bond and is due in court at 8 a.m. on January 27th. Each charge is a felony that is punishable by 4-year maximum term of incarceration and or a fine of $50,000. Attorney General Dana Nessel and former Attorney General Matt Plinkton discussed public corruption and how it actually works. This was from the latest episode of Pantsuits and Lawsuits. Both Attorney Generals talked on why the bills inflate, weakening services, and what it takes to hold powerful people to the same laws as everyone else. The conversation explored the pressure that comes with prosecuting the well-connected claims about weaponization. During the episode as well, former Attorney General Plinkton had explained the history behind New Jersey's strong anti-corruption statutes, while Nessel talked about Michigan's overhaul of opaque earmarks. The episode also talked about the corruption tax and dark money that is washing through politics. The Attorney Generals explored practical solutions and the broad support.
Michigan's public universities offer more than just education. They also act as an economic powerhouse for the state. A new economic impact study shows that Michigan's 15 public universities generate nearly $45 billion in economic activity each year. That impact helps support nearly 129,000 jobs statewide and brings in over $7 billion in state tax revenue. Impactful numbers for the state of Michigan. Researchers say that the return is 28 times the amount the state invests in public universities each year. This study also finds that graduates from these Michigan public universities earn nearly double than the average person without a college degree. From higher education to high-stakes numbers, it was a big finish to the year for online gambling in Michigan. State regulators say iGaming and internet sports betting generated almost $400 million in the month of December alone, a jump of nearly 20% from November's revenue. While sports betting cooled off slightly, online casino play hit an all-time high. Internet gaming brought in a record $315 million, the highest monthly total ever in state history. This success translated to $66 million in state tax and payments in just 1 month. If you or a loved one are seeking help for a gambling addiction, you can call 1-800-GAMBLER for 24-hour assistance. A statewide shortage of salt is prompting the Road Commission in Monroe County to make a change to its supply with local partners. CBS News Detroit's Alyssa Brigo is looking into the issue across Metro Detroit.
There is a shortage of salt.
Mother Nature has slammed Metro Detroit with a vengeance this season, and winter has only just begun. David Leach with Monroe County Road Commission says salt even more essential.
This year, we use more than we have the last 4 Decembers combined.
7,500 tons to be exact.
Last year alone, we used about 8,200 the entire winter.
With salt on standby and used more regularly this season, Leach says the county supplier can only distribute so much at one time. So Monroe County is taking precaution when it comes to its partners.
We currently have salt. It's not a time to panic. However, looking at our resources, it's just we are being proactive with what we have on hand, so we're not going to supply any more salt to our vendors.
CBS News Detroit dug deeper to find out if other counties are experiencing the same issue. Wayne County tells us salt not a problem, and they have, quote, a sufficient amount at this time. Over in Oakland County, Craig Bryson says it's not a shortage of salt his crews are seeing, but how quickly they're going through it.
Everybody has used a ton of salt, so everybody is low. We have used about double what we had used by this time last year and close to triple what we had used in the 2 years prior to that.
Bryson says some communities Oakland County supplies with salt have asked for more than agreed upon, which the county has denied.
We don't want to get ourselves in a position where we don't have enough.
Bottom line, roads will be salted. These county road crews just playing it safe.
We do not believe there's any risk that we will run out of salt and not be able to salt the roads.
I have salt, I just don't want to run out of salt.
For CBS News Detroit, I'm Alicia Bergio.
And don't touch that dial. Emma Ross will be back with a weather report you won't want to miss. Stay tuned.
It's known as America's finest city, San Diego. And people aren't the only ones who enjoy it here. Across the county, animals follow ancient routes and forge new paths. Because San Diego isn't just America's finest city, it's also America's wildest.
Tonight at 8 on WNMU TV.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Emma Maratz with your weather for today. Looking at our campus camera, it is pretty clear. You have a few students trucking through this cold weather we have. Looking at conditions across the UP, we have 17 in Houghton with some clouds. Ironwood is 13 degrees with some snow. Iron Mountain is 18 with some snow. And Menominee is 19 with some snow. Looking at the other side of our map, Escanaba is 17 with some clouds. Same conditions in Manistee. Sault Ste. Maria drops to 12 with some clouds. And here in lovely Marquette, it's partially sunny with 14 degrees. Looking further into our conditions, we have southwest winds at 10 miles an hour with our barometric pressure being 30.18 inches and falling. Looking into tonight's conditions, we have a chance of snow with a low of 5, west winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, and our moon phase is a waxing crescent. Looking into tomorrow's conditions, we have a high of 9, a low of a negative 11 with a chance of snow, and west winds 15 to 25 miles an hour. Looking into our conditions for the rest of the week, Friday is a high of negative 4 and a low of negative 12 with some snow. Extremely cold. Saturday is a high of 4 with some clouds and a low of negative 10. And Saturday it warms up with a high of 10, some snow, and a low of negative 1. That's all I have for weather. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thank you, Emma, for that weather report. It looks like those temperatures are continuing to get colder. Now moving on into statewide news. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has begun an investment mission to Switzerland. This investment is to help strengthen Michigan's global partnerships and position the state as a premier destination for growth. As part of the mission, Whitmer will participate in the World Economic Forum, where global leaders from business, government, and academia convene to shape the future of the global economy. Whitmer will be speaking at the Global Lighthouse Network and will be part of 2 panels. Additionally, she will also hold a press conference where she will talk about Michigan's efforts to invest in higher education. This shows Michigan's role in global supply chain and leadership in sectors critical to national and economic security. Democrats had planned to campaign in the midterm elections, though with recent additions of immigration crackdown in Minnesota, the party has scrambled. Democrats are now trying to translate fiscal outrage into political strategy and how to press forward on issues. Some want to abolish immigration and custom enforcement, while others want to take a different approach. Ever since Trump took office, the crackdown on the latest operation in Minnesota has generated some of the most intense controversy. After the recent loss of Renee Good, it has prompted protests and angry responses from local Democratic leaders. The Trump administration has not shown signs of backing down and has ramped up the numbers of federal agents. President Trump reiterated his determination to take control of Greenland during his highly anticipated address at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. The president started his speech with touting his administration's agenda on the economy, but he then pivoted to the topic that's triggered an international standoff. Natalie Brand has details from the White House.
President Trump leaves tonight for Davos, where European allies hope to de-escalate tensions over Greenland. But the president is making clear he's not backing down.
Let's put it this way, it's going to be a very interesting Davos.
Ahead of the summit, President Trump posted a series of eye-catching social media posts, one image of him planting the American flag in Greenland.
It is not easy when we wake up every morning to new threats.
Another revealing a private message from French President Emmanuel Macron saying, "I do not understand what you're doing on Greenland." At Davos today, Macron also addressed the president's newly threatened tariffs on allies over the issue.
An endless accumulation of new tariffs that are fundamentally unacceptable, even more so when they are used as leverage against territorial sovereignty.
In London, House Speaker Mike Johnson told British Parliament he hoped to calm the waters.
We've always been able to work through our differences calmly as friends. We will continue to do that. I want to assure you this morning that that is still the case.
The international tensions come as President Trump marks 1 year into his second term. The latest CBS News polling shows his approval rating at 41% overall, with many saying they want more focus on the economy.
People have told us that their income isn't keeping pace with inflation. That's been a consistent story through the year, and so they have been looking for the administration to put more emphasis on lowering prices.
President Trump says in Davos he will deliver the message that America's economy is strong. He's also expected to talk about affordability. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Now don't touch that dial. Emma Maratz will be back with a sports breakdown that you won't want to miss.
Asteroids, agents of destruction. But in early Earth, did they make life possible?
Asteroids could have delivered the building blocks of life.
Through ancient rock, moon craters, and asteroids.
The early Earth was a big experimental laboratory doing prebiotic chemistry.
A radical theory of life's beginning.
I did not believe what I was seeing.
Were asteroids the spark of life on Nova?
Tonight at 9 on WNMU TV.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. Once again, I'm Emma Maratz with your Wednesday Sports Breakdown. Starting on the court, Northern Michigan's men's basketball team, now ranked number 13, is set to host both Purdue Northwest and Wayne State this upcoming weekend. NMU, currently 16-2, is tied for first in the conference against UP rival Michigan Tech. The player to watch on the court is Dylan Keel, who is the reigning GLIAC Defensive Player of the Week. While on the road over the weekend, the team had a very close call with a 77-74 victory over Lake Superior State University and came back strong with another victory against Saginaw Valley with a final score of 86-77. Tip-off for the game against Purdue Northwest is at 7:30 p.m. in the Vanderbilt Arena. Hitting a slap shot into hockey, the Detroit Red Wings face off against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Detroit is currently second in the Atlantic Division with 64 points, with Detroit's most recent victory ending after an overtime battle where they faced off against the Ottawa Senators, with a final score of 4-3. Alex DeBrincat has been a weapon on the ice, with 26 goals and 26 assists for the Red Wings, followed by Andrew Kopp, who has 4 goals and 5 assists within the past 10 games. The Maple Leafs' William Nylander has 17 goals and 31 assists under his belt. The last time these two teams faced off, the Red Wings won in overtime 3-2. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. in Toronto. Diving straight in, Kalina Seglinski has earned her 5th GLIAC Diver of the Week honors this season. The junior has gotten first place every time she has stepped up to the diving board. Seglinski is first in the nation in the 1 meter and 5th in the 3 meter, according to the U.S. Professional Diving Coaches Association. In the recent face-off against UW Stevens Point, Seglinski earned 18 points to help the rest of NMU's swim and dive team to victory, with a score of 185-75. Seglinski and the rest of the green and gold are going to compete against Lake Superior State for their senior day on Saturday, the 24th. That's all I have for sports. Now back to the desk.
Thank you, Emma, for that sports report. I hope all these athletes are staying warm during their travels in these chilly times.
I will say, this is the coldest I've felt Marquette in a while, but I'm surviving. And how are you surviving with this as well?
Oh, you're hanging in there a little bit better than I am. I've been really cold, definitely not used to it, but I do enjoy the snow and all the activities that come with it.
I do agree with that. And with that, that's all the time we have at Public Eye News. I'm Bianca Kroll.
And I'm Maggie Franzen.
We'll see you next time.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.